So to start, I would say look at your extension services. So like your USDA, some of your other farming assistance like services that you have in your area. The other thing I would say is Google does a decent job of giving you a guesstimate, right? Like, of course, you can look and find the websites that'll kind of point you directly to like your specific land, and they'll highlight like, hey, like this area gives around, saying 1 cow per acre or something like that, right? Once you have that as a suggestion, you got to figure out if you're going to do set stock or if you're going to do rotational. And typically people would say that you need to find out what your land looks like before you make the decision. But the reason I say you want to make that decision early is because there's going to be more infrastructure you have to get prior to buying the animal. So if you're going to set stock, meaning you're just going to put them out there and let them graze on their own, which I don't recommend, then at that point you would look and say, hey, if they said 1 cow per acre, I've got 5 acres. That means for the year I can hold around 4 to 5 cows, right? And if you want to do it the smart way, look at it from your winter forage estimates. So I would say probably about 2 to 3 cows on 5 acres, right? If they say you can feed a cow on an acre of grass for a year. If you're going to do rotational, I would say get less cows than what they suggest. So for your 5 acres, I would divide it up depending on how far and how fast you want to actually move your animals. If you want to move your animals twice in a week, then divide up what you think would be kind of your first size paddock and just see how much those animals eat in that paddock, right? Like if they completely graze it down and they're mooing and hawing at you, then you need to make it a little bit larger. If there's still good grass there, and good grass for your area is going to be very specific, so that's not something I can really tell you. But if there's good grass there and they're still kind of chilling and chewing their cud and lounging around, they can stay there a little bit longer. So you just have to kind of play with the sizes of your paddocks prior to moving them to the next paddock and making that paddock a decent size of the right size. Once you figure out the sizes of your paddock, divide your land by that to see how many days of rotation you get, and then start rotating them. The biggest thing I would say to remember is you want to start with less in case you don't have enough grass, because if you get too many animals, you could destroy the land or you'll wind up having to pay a lot more in inputs. So having less animals than you think you need, you can always make a smaller paddock, but your land has limits to how big it can get. As you rotate, make sure season after season you're monitoring how good your grass is. Your grass should come back better. Make sure you're doing something to kind of amend the soil, maybe put a mineral something out there, and you'll watch your grass get better. And as your grass gets better, you can put more animals on that forage at a time relative to your winter forage estimate. But that is like super duper high level, inexperienced person talking based off of YouTube videos and a little bit of research. Hopefully that gave you an idea. But the best thing, and what I've heard the most being said to me, is when you get in an area, go to Tractor Supply, talk to somebody who runs cows.